And now, Mindy, we've had quite a few viewers and listeners actually write in questions, comments, which thank you everybody that has written to us either through YouTube or through the website. We are getting your messages, we're reading them, and we really enjoy the feedback. But there's a number one standout question that we've gotten every single week. And I think we probably should, fill our listeners in. And that question is most recently from our listener, Jackie, how you and I met. So if you want to start and tell your version, then I'll pick up and tell mine.
About different well, first of all, I don't know how many years ago, but it's definitely over 2 decades.
Yeah, it's about 20 years.
About 20. Like, have I hit it?
Yeah.
It feels like longer. It feels like our whole lives. But, well, you were also 12. We met, I had a friend who owned a production house, and you were a producer at that production house. And I needed a couple of things done. I think one was my demo reel of some kind. And we were kind of put together in a dark room and you made things happen. That sounds really more interesting than it really was. I know, especially for you. But along the way, we just struck up a very quick and deep friendship. Yeah. And I call you my Poppy, but really you're like my little brother. Yeah. But I call you Poppy and you call me little mama or mama. And, but we really are like siblings. I love your family copious amounts. Yeah. And think of them as an extension of my family, and my family feels the same way about you.
Yeah, same.
Anyway, that's my version.
Mine is very similar. Mine is less vivid on the production of what we were doing, because I remember, being at work and being introduced to you. And, I don't get starstruck pretty much ever, even living in Los Angeles, because there's, celebrities everywhere and all over the place. I just didn't expect you to come into my office that particular day and be like, "Hi, I'm Mindy." And I was like, "Hello, I know who you are. I grew up watching television with you. This is, part of life." I remember my big takeaway, particularly from that day, was how warm and inviting you were, how personable you were, how charming, how gracious and generous you were. Because, I think we were doing a little bit of work and you made a point to go out. I remember you ran and got me like a glass of water or something, even though I'm perfectly capable of getting water myself. I think we had 2 PAs in the office that could have done the job for us. But you got up from the work we were doing because I needed, I was a little parched for whatever reason, and you fetched some water, and it was pretty amazing. And I just remember thinking wow, this is a real down to earth, salt of the earth human, and I tend to gravitate toward those people because I kind of like zero shit. I don't like a lot of the filler and the fluff. And we're business. You got right down to business. We got what we needed. We kind of hit the notes together creatively, which I was really appreciative of. And then, like you said, it really did grow into a friendship where it is like a long-term relationship. I think of you as a sibling. You like my older sister. Yeah. And I come to you for advice. I've cried on your shoulder many times.
Oh, and honey, right back at you. But I actually have more memories of us outside of the studio in the production office.
Me too.
Really done more socially than we had these walks. We had a jag there where we were walking every week and going on these long walks and solving the world's problems and our own, or trying to.
Well, the funny thing about that is during those long walks, kind of going back to, one of our previous episodes when we talked to Gina, she mentioned the movie Nice Girls Like You. It has been on the table for quite some time. They had the funding, but it took a while to get off the ground. And
like 5 years, I think.
You and I, during these long walks where we would talk about everything and nothing, we talked about a show like this one, like the one that we're doing. And we just didn't know what it looked like at the time. We didn't know how it was going to come together. And that was I want to say 10 years ago.
It was easily. I don't think we called it a podcast, but it was a show of kind. 100%. I remember talking about that.
And now here we are doing it as a podcast, YouTube show, kind of all that stuff, which, 10 years ago, I didn't know that's how it would kind of manifest itself. And now I couldn't be happier, that it finally is,
Same.
The seed germinated and boom.
I couldn't and wouldn't want to do this without you. That I know for sure. And you are an incredible producer and a wonderful, production coordinator. But I was trying to think of the word. I had a brain fart there. Sorry. But more than that, you're like the most incredible human being. And I love you so much and respect you so much. And I'm your biggest fan. Well, I can't wait for people to get to know you the way that I do.
I would pretty much echo the exact same sentiments to you. I think the only thing that I would change about that is that I don't think, and I know I've brought it up before, and I'll probably continue to bring it up until people really, really get it, but that you are not just an actress. You're not just a singer, songwriter, dancer, choreographer, producer. Like you do it all, but like you really are you got the producer chops, and you work a lot behind the scenes that a lot of people don't know about. You connect a lot of dots for people to get these projects off the ground and to change people's lives. And it's a very underrated and underappreciated kind of job.
Yeah.
But I do think people deserve to know that you're also a very skilled and savvy producer. You know what you're doing, and you wear that hat better than a lot of people that I have worked with and continue to work with. And so, I mean, I'm grateful to be doing this with you because it's really a fun journey that we're having, and we get to see each other
And
every week.
I love having these conversations with people, some of whom I know really well. And as we get more into it, obviously we're starting off with people that I have really close relationships that I just want to share with
Yeah,
our listeners. But eventually our goal is to get people that we both just adore and don't know.
yeah,
And
I want to
able
get to
have
know.
creative conversations with. Exactly. So I see this going for as long as we can do it, Bobby.
Yeah.
It's so hard in these times, and with your crazy busy schedule, and yeah, it's a lot.
It
It's a
is.
lot.
It is, but it's been worth it. It's been very, very worth it so far. And we've got one more question. This one came from Jennifer. It's directed to you, and it's Mindy. You seem to have a lot of friends on the East Coast, specifically in New York City, or I guess New York State. Would you ever consider moving there?
I have lived in New York a couple of times. It is where I will grow old. I
Yeah.
always say this, and now that I am old, I really should be there by now. But I'm here because I like to have my parents close. They would love me to go 3,000 miles away, but I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, and it's also just, I love LA. It's an easier life here in every way. Financially, more business is here. But my dream is not only 8 shows a week, but it's really to live in a city where a bigger family of friends, my
Yeah.
touchstones. I also have obviously familial. My cousins Jeff and T live there, that I'm very close to. But um, it is a place where I feel it's easier to be an actor and a proud actor.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, my support system is just much bigger. So, very observant listener.
Yeah.
Yeah, my biggest touchstones outside of my parents and you and a couple of other people here are
Yeah.
really in New York City.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the city that has my heart for sure.
Yeah.
What
That's
about
good.
you? I
Uh,
know I
I
know
lived
you
in New
and
York.
Paul have been talking about
Yeah,
perhaps
I lived in New York
venturing
City
out.
many, many years ago. Thank God, like
Yes.
college years. And really genuinely thought I was a New Yorker. Like I was there for a hot
Yeah.
minute, let's be honest. But I was
No,
like
but I remember.
you get that sense of how you move through the world. And I was very impressionable at the time as well. So it felt like I was a New Yorker. And then I, by happenstance, came to Los Angeles and was like, wow, you mean I could wear flip-flops to work every day? It
Yeah.
kind of changed the trajectory for me and sort of the path that I was going on. And I'm really grateful for it because it brought me to people like you. My closest friends are here. My chosen family is definitely here. My partner, Paul, and I talk often about picking up and moving about. I've lived abroad in many, many different countries. He has as well. And
Mhm.
I think that we will grow old somewhere else.
Yes.
Our goal, he's got family here. He's born and raised in Los Angeles. So I think we'd like to always have a base here in LA. But,
Yes.
my heart brings me back to, my family in Italy. It brings us both back to, our friends in Sydney, Australia. So I do
Mhm.
think, the beauty of this show is we can record anywhere. We just need the
No.
internet. So,
Yeah, sure.
if you move to New York and I move wherever, we could still keep it going. So
When I
time will
moved to
tell.
New York,
Yes,
I have
yes.
started to talk in those terms when, and it could be a couple years, it could be sooner than that.
Yeah.
We will not only continue this, but yeah, I think I shared this in our episode with Gina too. It's, the best is yet to come, I think, for both
Yeah.
of us. I truly live in that and believe that. And I think, us doing this show is definitely going to propel us forward. I sure hope so.
Me too. Me too. Awesome. Well, thank you everybody again for listening. If you have more questions for us or comments, drop them on YouTube, send them to us directly through the website. We will be happy to answer them as we can, and we appreciate your support. Thank you once again for joining us. We look forward to talking to you next season. Bye, everybody.